Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome each and every one of you to yet another open day. This data-driven marketing professional program, the Open Day. I would like to welcome each and every one of you. I would like to welcome all our participants and, of course, all our guests as well. In this Sunday morning for this data-driven marketing professional program. Now, before starting off the proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give you a brief introduction about the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, and then, of course, about this particular program, that is DDMP program. Now, I know most of you have done your research about Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing and then about this program, which is the data-driven marketing professional program. But just let me give you a brief introduction as we can start off the proceedings of today's event. Now, Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, ladies and gentlemen, or SLIM as we call it, is the apex body for Sri Lankan marketers, which was founded in 1970 and subsequently incorporated by an act of parliament in 1980, recognizing it as the national body for marketing in Sri Lanka. Now, we are mandated to uplift the marketing profession in Sri Lanka, providing marketing studies and, as you all know, conducting many national level events and projects as well. So SLIM is governed by a council of management and an executive committee headed by a president and composed of professionals from numerous industries in an honorary capacity. Now, moving on to the DDMP program, or the Data-Driven Marketing Professional Program. Now, as the name suggests, this is a professional qualification, and it is designed to provide knowledge on essential data-driven marketing concepts, provide skills to evaluate and identify the best practices and emerging concepts in data-driven marketing. So it further focuses on developing comprehensive data-driven marketing projects, including data instruments, tools, and tactics that need transform data to meet the marketing and business objectives. Right, so with that introduction, ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite one of our key personals from Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing to formally welcome each and every one of you for this open day in data-driven marketing professional program. So I would like to invite Dr. Sajith Prematilaka, Head of Education, Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing.
Thank you, Oshada, for that kind introduction. Second of all, let me again warmly welcome our dear students, our guest speakers, lecture panel, and we have our Ms. Mihirini, head of our business development team, and every other person who is participating in this event, right? So instead of on a Sunday morning telling you a scripted speech, let me just speak my mind out about this particular program, right? So data-driven marketing, as Oshada introduced, this is for people who are seeking higher or who are looking to progress further in the field of marketing in the new age of tools that is being available, right? What I mean by that is that as most of you all are aware, the way that we do businesses are getting highly digitized, right? How we sell, how we attract, how we do marketing, everything is changing drastically, right? If you take the overall percentage of businesses which are taking place, it's between, if you take a country like Sri Lanka, it's about 5 to 10% of the overall revenue. As a country, only about 5 to 10%, or in some cases maximum 15% is taking place over the online channels, right? But if you take developed countries, those numbers vary on the significantly higher side of things. However, now if you take specifically SLIM, most of our marketing budget is spent on digital channels, right? The reason being, number one, our students, like our customer base, which is mainly students, almost all of them are on digital channels. And I mean, I'm not saying digital channels can be reached to every single aspect of the society. Some still ATL and BTL channels may be used, but we can safely say the days of just putting a hoarding or doing a leaflet campaign or just doing a TV campaign and expecting customers to come to your business through your marketing initiatives are soon disappearing, right? We need uh, the management, because mostly now new managements are taking over from the baby boomers, right? So they are well, or at least they have considerable amount of knowledge about face social media platforms and various other platforms which track our marketing activities, right? So if you are coming from a Facebook, if you're coming from a social media or any type of digital marketing background, you probably are aware of the amount of data that you can use to make your marketing campaigns. And with the advent of things like uh, AI, and previously we have quite a lot of machine learning taking place. So with that, all these new developing technologies, the amount of data that we can process is getting extremely large, right? So by having that much of data, we as marketeers, you can gather more information about your customers behavior. What I mean by that, now if you take all of we are using phones, right? So we can we would your phone would know where you eat, with whom are you hanging out with, because you have your Google Maps on, and it tracks pretty much every single activity that you do, right? Including how you go home. Are you taking a bus, or are you taking a car? Are you taking a bicycle? Are you what time even you go to the toilet? Everything is tracked on your phone, right? Unfortunately or unfortunately, right? It's not tracked from one data point, it's tracked from all the apps that which is being available, right? So in a world like that, we put out so much of information to companies to source, right? And through those data, people like you who are marketing professionals should be able to extract that information and build better profiles about your customers, about their behaviors, about their spending patterns, about their whom are they associate uh, with, what are the places that they hang out, what are the times that they purchase, right? So if you all are working in the field of marketing, already you are exposed to some of these information that I told you. But that type of information is always expanding. So this is a program which is dedicated for people who are looking to um, extract that information and make better marketing decisions for your company or behalf of the companies that you are gonna work for, right? And most of all, this is more of an exploratory subject. It is not like we have various other subjects, right? We have various subjects like certificates and diplomas in digital marketing and so on and so forth. So where we just simply teach something, right? Over here, both the lecturers and students should be exploring things, because this is a extremely evolving space. Now, if you take ChatGPT 1 month ago had the intelligence of a 4-year-old. Now they have the intelligence of a teenager, and within another 1 month or 2 months, ChatGPT long will have more information than a human being in terms of processing capacity. I think Dilshan will also talk. He was also involved in those things quite extensively, and also blockchain is also taking place. So a lot of things are happening in the space. So this is not something that you just come to classes and take a course home. As students, I encourage you to engage with your lecturers, engage with your friends, peers who are into technology. Study these models. Maybe if you can develop things like apps, you can make a lot of money, because this is extremely new, right? It's evolving. So with that, I would like to invite our guest speaker Dilshan to speak a little bit further on this matter. Again, I would like to thank everyone for participating and listening, and I encourage all of you to sign up, engage, and get a qualification in this particular program. Oshada?
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for welcoming all our participants and, of course, all our guests, and for committing your time and effort for being here. Thank you, sir. Right. So, as Dr. Sajid correctly mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, next up we have our guest speaker's message coming up. And as you mentioned, we have someone who has a lot of experience in this particular field, and someone with a lot of knowledge, and he's ready to share all of them with our participants today. So let me give a brief introduction about our guest speaker, Mr. Dilshan Senaratne. He's an accomplished business consultant with over 12 years of expertise in marketing, communication, and branding. And currently, he is the Associate Director and Head of Talent Marketing and Employee Brand at Virtusa Corporation, a major technology service provider. Now, based in Colombo, Sri Lanka, he manages teams across Indian subcontinent and oversees corporate communications in the Asia Pacific, Europe, and Middle East. His career includes roles at prominent firms such as Aitken Spence, WSO2, and Rainco Private Limited, as well as founding his own consultancy firm as well. He holds an MBA from the Birmingham University and is passionate about emerging technologies like Web 3.0 and blockchain. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Dilshan Senaratne, Associate Director and Head of Talent Marketing and Employee Brand at Virtusa Corporation.
Thanks, Oshada, for the introduction, and thank you, Dr. Sajid, for handing it over. Will I be able to share my screen?
Yes, I think that, yeah.
Can you see my screen? Is the next question.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining in on a Sunday. It's a really rainy Sunday as well. I am actually going to talk about data as the backbone of the future of marketing, right? And it's a bit of a dense topic, but the idea is that after the session, it will give you more justification to kind of pursue data-driven marketing through the program and through whatever other learning avenues that you have, and also start implementing some of it and maybe most of it at your work, right? So to begin with, I know there was a fairly extensive introduction, so I'm not going to spend time on it. But what I do want to mention is Dr. Sajid said, there was this time that we used to do TV campaigns and billboards and just call it a day, right? So 14 years ago, I was in advertising, and that was the period when these things were changing. So I've seen the previous era as well, right? So I've kind of gone through this transition, and it's been a really interesting one, and I'm hoping a lot of you will also kind of take it on, and if you're already in it, maybe expand on that. So looking forward, I'm just going to start this with a quote which is 130 years old by now, right? John Wanamaker, he was a British merchant who was really successful in America in the early days of commercialization. He famously invented the idea of direct selling, and also had thoughts on fixed pricing and a bunch of other concepts that were unheard of at the time, but is very popular now. He famously said this, right? He said, half the money I spend on marketing is wasted, and the problem is I don't know which half. 130 years later, the problem is still pretty much this: attributing value to your marketing spend is potentially one of the largest challenges that marketers have, and one of the biggest criticisms that marketing in general has as well, right? Because it's bordering on the domain of an art when it gets into kind of figuring out, okay, like where do we spend money? Do you spend on programmatic? Do you spend on a billboard? Do you spend on a TV commercial? And how do you quantify the return on this and the scalability of these decisions, in a sense, right? So 15 years ago, or like 20 years ago, or maybe even 10 years ago, or maybe even 5 years ago, we had this situation where a lot of the channels that we use for marketing did not have a measurable way of quantifying outcomes. And that's something that data driven marketing has changed, and also digitization has changed, right? um, so if you go into this question of why is data the backbone of future marketing, the the primary thing is the answer to Wanamaker's question, right? It measures marketing ROI quantifiably. And what that means in a very like simplistic and rudimentary way is, if you place an advertisement in an ATL channel, or let's say a newspaper, right? The way of quantifying the return on that, kind of identifying how many people actually saw it, how much time was spent on that ad or advertisement or article, was there conversion from that placement? It's practically impossible. You can make some educated guesses, but it's practically impossible. But if you do the same on a website, like just keep place a content asset and then use Google Analytics to kind of track the performance of that asset, now all of those questions can be answered, right? But it's also really important to understand that that does not mean placing a web article is the solution for everything. There are other elements to it, but primarily that is a benefit of data driven marketing, right, and digitization. So a few other benefits: it lets you reach the right people. It will let Oshada, for example, if he's marketing this program, kind of find you guys who have interest, and not a bunch of people who are not even in marketing. So targeting is one function of it. It also lets you identify what works. So there is an iterative process in data-driven marketing, which lets you kind of understand, okay, this ad is working, this creative is working, this messaging is resonating with the right people. Um, it helps you also understand who your customers are. There are situations where you're kind of like throwing things out into the market, and then you realize, okay, this particular segment in the market is really interested in this product or service, and that's an interesting take, because then you can really like kind of double down on those segments and target them, right? It also lets you rationalize your marketing spend. So it lets you, in a logical way, kind of set up your allocations so that you know how much of what is going into what area and why. It enables personalized marketing. There's a lot of personalization that happens today when you do marketing. It also enhances customer experience. This is something you also experience with, like, whether you're just logging into Uber Eats or one of these e-commerce platforms, you'll start seeing this, right? It creates serious upselling and cross-selling opportunities. A paper advertisement really does not have the ability to retarget and go back and say, hey, you bought this, do you also want to buy this? The last thing, it perfects the messaging, right? Because it gives you feedback on what is working and what is really resonating with your target markets. Then if you move forward and you this is a kind of session on data driven marketing, so you shouldn't take anybody's word on it, and it shouldn't be anecdotal, right? So like, let's forget about my experience with it. Let's see what everybody else is saying. There's so much being said about data driven marketing and data in general, but these are a few interesting statistics. um, so one of the ones on top, which Forbes has quoted, I think in an article 2 years ago, is companies are 6 times more likely to be profitable if they use data-driven marketing. And this makes sense from a really global perspective. A lot of these things maybe are lagging in the Sri Lankan context, in a truly Sri Lankan context. But when you work in technology or exports or any of the industries that really deal with global markets, you start seeing how the competition really kind of drives out everybody else through optimizations like data-driven marketing, right? Um, 40% of brands plan to increase their data-driven marketing budgets, which tells me there is opportunity for people like you and people like me to work in this field and kind of take over the baton from traditional marketers and maybe potentially put them out of business eventually. um, 90% of marketers consider data their most underused asset. Again, a statement of opportunity, right? There's so much to be done here that hasn't already been done. So there's something to work for. Um, 49% of respondents reported being somewhat or very effective at using data informed insights. So that's another insight that globally things are moving forward. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this I'll also share this slide deck. But if you just do like a quick Google search, you'll find a lot of what is being said. I would maybe focus on Forbes and McKinsey and Invoca because they've done studies on it. And then if you move forward, I don't know if you have the ability to answer, but like, where does data fit in with marketing? So this is an interesting one, right? Whenever we talk about any of these elements, you have to kind of understand, okay, so if we are going to take on this concept of data-driven marketing, where does it fit in? Like, does it fit in at product level? Does it fit in at promotion level? Does it fit in somewhere else? And I'm going to let you like take 2 seconds and kind of make up your mind about like, so I've put the 7 Ps on the screen. Try to kind of pick your bet, right? Like, where do you think it applies? So another way that I like asking this question is, where doesn't it fit? Does it not fit at product level? When you're coming up with a new product, when you're trying to figure out what that user experience should be like, what are those features, how much warranty to give, doesn't data play a role? Can you not offer a 3-month warranty and see if the customer feedback is, oh, we want more warranty, or if there's no need for the warranty? Or can you not measure it over time and see whether people are actually cashing in on that warranty or if it's not necessary? Data does fit in, right? Doesn't data fit in at pricing? Of course it does. How else will you know to iterate whether the pricing is too high for the market or whether it's too low, other than gut feel, which usually doesn't work? How would you know to price things effectively or offer discounts or offer promotions, or who to offer promotions to? Data fits in, right? Promotion, I don't even need to say it, like programmatic advertising, placing your UTM tags on content assets, data fits in perfectly in promotion. Doesn't data fit in place? Forget digital channels. Like, does data not fit into where you want to go and set up your store? Like, forget digital. Let's think offline. If you were to start a laptop selling outlet today, where would you set it up? Probably Unity Plaza, right? Because that's where everybody is. And that's data. Understanding that research is data. Um, doesn't it fit in at people level, like knowing what type of people do we want, how much experience should they have, how many resources do we need? All of that is data driven, right? When it comes to processes, everything is data driven. Like, how do you measure these campaigns? How do you figure out what these numbers are? What are the metrics that matter? Physical evidence, your packaging, your office stores, what color to use, that's also data driven. So essentially, what we are understanding is that data driven marketing is not a component of marketing, but an element that adds value across the full scope of marketing. And that's really where the justification for upskilling yourself comes in, because it doesn't matter where you work in the spectrum of the marketing process, you're going to need data to do better. And that's really where kind of a program like this or anything else kind of helps you, right? The next one I want to look at is an interesting thing. So these are Google Trend reports from 2004 to 2024, the interest in data-driven marketing globally. So it's a very clear uptick. If you're wondering about these fluctuations, it's always this way. There is no uptrend that is a linear line. It's always going to fluctuate like this, but the trend is upward tilted, right? So if you're somebody who's getting into the industry or somebody who's looking at expanding on their career opportunities or even kind of expanding their role, their current role, um, data is a significantly growing area to get into or to add or to upskill in so that you're more employable and more valuable within the organization. I'm going to show you. So the next slide, maybe I shouldn't have put the slide in, but and I also don't really have an interpretation for the data, but this is what the trend curve looks like in Sri Lanka for data-driven marketing. I have no idea what this means. It seems like we're going in reverse for some reason. And there's these like really random spikes within like intervals of time. I'm not too sure what this means, but there is one interpretation that I can give it, and that is if there is a scarcity in the interest for something that is globally fascinating to people, then there is opportunity there, right? Which also means there's not enough people in the space, not enough skilled professionals that companies are looking for. And if you go today and start looking around for who are people hiring, you'll start seeing the traditional ads for marketers have really changed. And now everybody's like, oh, are you a programmatic advertising specialist? Are you a digital marketing specialist? Can you do content marketing? A lot of the job roles have changed, right? So businesses are keeping pace with global interest, but it seems like our talent pools are not. So this is opportunity for you to really be differentiated within the industry and within even an organization. So I'm going to leave you with one reason. If you ever considered upskilling yourself in data, the future of commerce, and there's actually 3 more citations for this statistic. They say that data-driven marketers are 30% more paid than traditional marketers in the industry. So if nothing else I said makes sense to you, this is the most simplistic way that it should, right? When I was called to do the session, I was told you should do something on your personal experiences and like what you do. And then I thought, how do you do an introduction to data-driven marketing and make it anecdotal and personally kind of personal experience based, right? So I did what I did, and I kind of really tried to keep it to data points that can be cited. But I'm going to do 2 slides, which give you an idea of metrics that we look at when we do marketing, so that you understand at the end of your training, at the end of your course, what you'll be able to kind of work with, and what metrics you'll start tracking. So the how to track this, when to track it, what is appropriate, how do you use this information, a lot of this you'll have to learn in a longer form setup, and not something that I can teach you in 2 slides, but that's what the program is for, right? But I'll just go through these metrics. We track, there's 15 of them here, and we track all of them for different reasons, and each of them kind of overlap and interlap into different takeaways. There's a bunch of things that we do with this data. I'll just like quickly go through them. So one thing we track is awareness. It's customer recognition of the brand. If nobody knows what this brand is, immediately there's a problem. The next one is test drive. This is something that comes from the automotive industry. It's customer interest that you measure through a trial. So somebody gets to experience your product or service, and then they're like, okay, this is how I feel about it, and the level of interest is measured. It's a data point that we capture. Churn, how much customer attrition as a percentage happens with your product. So if there's 100 people buying it today and only 90 people buying it tomorrow, that means there's been a 10% churn, right? why is that churn, and then how do you handle it is a whole bunch of other stuff that you go into afterwards. Satisfaction, I don't have to explain it. What is your customer satisfaction level? The higher, the better. Acceptance rate. So whether you're rolling out an offer or a promotion, the acceptance rate tells you whether there is interest in that promotion and whether you should repeat it. Profit is pretty obvious. NPV and IRR are both accounting metrics. It shows you kind of like the future value of the current value of your future cash flows or the profitability of an investment you made. Payback is the period, if you're an entrepreneur or if you're kind of in a managerial role, it tells you how much time is it going to take for investment to be recuperated. This kind of applies also to marketing efforts. Lifetime value, if you're acquiring a customer, so this is an interesting one. If you acquire a customer over the period of their customer life cycle, how much value are they going to bring to you, monetarily or non-monetarily, right? Based on that number, you start looking at how much higher your customer acquisition cost could go. So it's kind of like a data point that triggers another data point and then lets you rationalize your budgets. Last 5, stay with me. CPC, CPM, I'm hoping everybody is familiar with. If you're advertising on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or even Google, the way advertising structuring is done by digital publishers is through cost per click or cost per impression. So it's very kind of like results oriented. Conversion, the percentage of sales conversions that happen from a marketing campaign or a content asset or whatever, or a promotion. ROMI is interesting. It's return on marketing investment. So you spend X amount on marketing. How much of that did you recuperate as sales is ROMI. Bounce is a digital metric that we use on websites usually. It's to kind of like get an idea of how quickly are visitors leaving your page, which means your content is not interesting or there is something with your navigation. So a lot of investigation goes into it afterwards. But to start with, you understand what bounce is. Your referral potential. So if you have a customer, how likely are they to tell a friend? It's also called Net Promoter Score. So that's 15 measurements that we take, right? And that you should be able to take once you've completed your learning and kind of converted to practicing data-driven marketing. I've taken a bit of time, so that's all from me. I'm going to close for questions. If anybody has questions, I'm happy to answer, whether you want to put it on chat or even ask me, I'm good.
Also, why don't you open the mics for the students, so if they have anything they could ask, right?
Yes. I think our organizers will have that chance of opening the mics. I think they can open their mics and answer the or ask any questions. If not, as Mr. Dilshan mentioned, you can just pop those questions in the chat option, the chat box as well. Then we can direct that to Mr. Dilshan.
Yeah, so or if you don't have questions right now, feel free to reach out to Oshada with the questions and I'll get them answered for you over the next couple of days.
Yes. Yes, so thank you, Mr. Dilshan, for joining with us and for sharing all that very valuable information with our participants on this open day. I'm sure they found it very interesting and very relevant to what they're about to pursue in their career. So thank you, Mr. Dilshan, and I hope you'll have a good day. And
thanks so much.
Again, if you have any questions, just make sure to use the chat option, Dilshan. Move on with the proceedings of today's event, ladies and gentlemen. And next up, we have one of our lecturers who is here to deliver the lecturer's message on behalf of the lecture panel at Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing for this DDMP program. Now, he is a distinguished chartered marketer and a chartered engineer as well, with over 15 years of experience, especially in the telecommunications industry. Now, his formidable background spans across engineering, marketing, supply chain management, and program management. Underpinned by a solid educational background or foundation that includes an engineering degree from the University of Peradeniya, a postgraduate diploma in marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing UK, and an MBA from PIM. He's proficient in steering technologies such as telecom, IoT, AI, and ML and digital marketing solutions, alongside expertise in digital commerce. Now, he has forged collaborations with esteemed organizations such as Asiata Digital Labs, Etisalat, Demo PLC, and Enable throughout his career. Now, his dedication to education shines through his roles as a visiting lecturer at SLTC Research University and, of course, at Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing Business School. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Mr. Daminda Edirisinghe, who's one of our lecturers at Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, and he's here and ready to share all the relevant information with our participants today.
Thank you, Osad, for your kind introduction. So let me share my screen with you all. Okay, hope you can see my screen.
So we can see.
You can see, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Right. So, as one of the members in the lecture panel of DDMP course, my task is today to give you kind of understanding about the content of the course that you're going to learn throughout the program, and also the benefits that you will take out from the course after completing it. Right. So, first of all, so at the very first day, you will learn about the introduction about data-driven mindset, because mindset is the most important things when it comes to about this transformation. So more than the content, more than the marketing, you will learn the transformation inside you after you completing this program, because it's not only about marketing, it's about connecting marketing with technology. So most of the marketers in the country, they don't have this background, technology background, so they lack it. So joining this course will enable you to understand that technology, how it's going to support the marketing today, right? So I assume most of you know the marketing. So it's about a course where you learn about the technology as a supporting function to make this transformation, right? So at the very first day, you will learn about this basic introduction about this data-driven marketing course. In that case, we will cover about the mindset of the modern marketer, what it should be like, and concept of agile marketing, importance of integrating cross-section of data together, skills and competencies, so on and so forth. Basically, you will learn what is data, because data is the most important thing that you should learn. But because if I ask you what is the difference between data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, right? If you have answer, it's good. But if you don't know the answer, after you completing this course, you will learn the difference between data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, right? So likewise, we will learn the basic stuff, because basic is the most important thing to cover at the very first to go this journey of the course. So at the next module, then we will talk about the fundamentals of data and analytics, how to begin the journey with data in the marketing, as you see in the previous slides shared by the guest speaker. At this whole process, you will touch data at the different points. So you will need to know what are those data points going to be, and what are the KPIs going to be used in this data measurement process, and different types of data and their imports in data preparation. Because data is not just that you can use at the outset, you have to prepare the data you make it quality enough to analyze, right? So likewise, there are things that you can do how to make it better. Otherwise, you will get wrong. You will make wrong decision because your data is not correct, right? So that kind of things you will learn at the module 2, right? Not only that, like statistical analysis of market data, big data analytics, and its application in marketing, and the war room culture for real-time decision making, so and so. So the concept like big data analytics and how you going to use them, and also the case studies we will discuss, right? Because it is very important to you to understand how these concepts have been implemented, not only Sri Lanka but other part of the world. It's important for you to learn, right? So those things will be covered in the module 2, and then the module 3, marketing process and data collection. So introduction to marketing process of data collection, and you will learn first party, second party, and third party data and their practicality, and determine the best sources, trustworthiness of the data, data management platforms, DMP, CDP, so on and so forth, right? And integrations of marketing activities like CRM, ERP, so and so, different data databases, introduction to marketing automation. So one of the big problem in the market today, in many, it happen in your organization as well. You have data, right? You have data, but they are in silos because you have CRM, they have separate database. You have ERP, you have separate database, and you have something else. Maybe you're collecting your customer feedback in a separate database, but they are not integrated. They are in silos, so you don't take the full advantage of data because they are operating under separate silos. So because of that, you will not able to get the potential of data. So we will talk about those concepts in this module, right? So so next module 4, we will talk about AI, artificial intelligence. So one of the key things that I want to highlight here is that this course is evolving, right? This course is evolving. So in this time, we will talk about Gen AI as well. Gen AI. So you know what is Gen AI, so Chat GPT and all, right? So Gen AI is very important now. Right now, most of the activities being complemented with the help of Gen AI, right? So we are in the organization that I work, we are consulting the organization how they can use Gen AI to improve their productivity, efficiency, not only in marketing but also in other operational business operations areas, right? So in this module, so we will talk about fundamentals of AI in business processes, AI application for business process management, machine learning, the difference between AI, ML, these jargons, technical jargons, developments of bots for business improvement, right? So with the help of Gen AI, you can have a kind of a human kind of a feeling to your customer when it comes to answering questions. Like already there are bots already implemented under call centers and all to give to support the customers, so and so. But with the implement of Gen AI, you will have customer can type any type of questions and you can give an answer like a human without having a physical resource there, right? So likewise, so we will talk about more in AI, right, and the application in marketing and also in other business operations areas. Right? And then consumer-centric marketing activities, customer behavior, we will analyze how with the help of data, right? Introduction of consumer behavior analysis with big data, and we will talk about the characteristic of big data, right? So how this normal data and big data are different. You will learn those stuff in the module 5. Application of big data concepts, marketing automation throughout the consumer journey, because automation is something you cannot say no in the future. It's even now it's happening, right? If you don't know what is marketing automation, you definitely should know. Whether you join this course or not, you should learn this concept. Otherwise, you will not be able to survive in marketing field, right? So that's the importance of this module 5. And next, BI and data visualization. What is the difference between BI and AI and data analytics and so forth? You will learn those things. business intelligence, and data visualization. So in here, we will talk about data visualization for do-it-yourself analysis. You will get the hands-on experience with the BI tools. You can have your own dashboards for your marketing functions, right? So we will talk about BI more related to marketing, because BI is not only for marketing. It's all over the place inside the organization. But we will talk more about the application of BI in the marketing side, right? And then agile marketing. So agile marketing is something, a new concept, because agile is more into the software industry previously, but agile concepts, agile mindsets, agile principles, agile values have been incorporated to marketing as well. Now, the marketing professionals are using these agile concepts to give, real-time change into their marketing strategy. Because like 10 years ago, when I was in the marketing department in one of the organizations that I worked, we used to work with the Nielsen, the research organization. They come up with their research finding after every quarter. So after 3 months only, we got to get to know about our customers. But now it's not like that. Because of data, you get the feedback then and there. So to import that data and put into the practice, you need to have kind of an agile process implemented inside the organization, right? So those things will be covered through the module 7. And then data-driven creative advertising. So advertising is part of the marketing, but how we are going to use data to have creative advertising. So that is one of the very interesting modules in the course. You will learn the application of marketing in the advertising arena, right? So we will talk about fundamentals of data-driven creativity, basic dynamic creative optimization, DCO, technology enablers for data-driven activity, data-driven creative approach in practice, so on and so forth. Okay. In DCO, data-driven conversion optimization, the fundamentals will be discussed: behavioral economics in driving conversions, data integration with customer experience, how small things can make big business impact, tools and technologies for measured success of CRO. Those things will be covered. There are a few more. Okay, IoT, Internet of Things. How IoT is going to change the marketing fields. That's important. You should know, because we think IoT is something else. It's not relevant to marketing. But now IoT will give you so much data so that you can, decide what to do at the next time. Because you can, from those data, the device data, you can, understand your customers' behavior. For example, as you know, you have in your phone, you have this GPS sensor, right? So GPS sensor, you are providing your location to the third parties like Google Maps, so and so. And then they know where are you, and based on your location, they can sell your data without exposing your PI data, personal identity information data, without exposing those data, but they can expose your location data with third parties, so then they can target you for the marketing campaigns. So you will learn how this data privacy and how these marketing things will happen in the practical world, right? So we will talk about IoT use cases, case studies, and applications and success stories more interrelated to the marketing field, right? So IoT is to everywhere, right? It's for agriculture, it's maybe for ports and port sector. It's maybe for for this garment industry. Why not for marketing? We will discuss. Okay, right, and then. Also, blockchain technology, concept of blockchain technology, fundamentals of blockchain technology, capabilities, limitation, blockchain chain technology, the business problem, how we're going to use it, blockchain technology specific to the marketing field, so and so forth. We will discuss. Okay. All right. So those are the things that we are going to cover in this course, in this program. So as I told you at the beginning, I told you this is not only about marketing. It's about how you're going to use technology true work in marketing, to improve your marketing function, to differentiate you, so and so forth. Then why you should learn this kind of course, or why you should join this kind of program? That is important, because you should do anything asking why, right? You should ask that question from you. So, to answer that question, I will help you, right? I will help you how you can use that, right? Because we are in the what is the industrial revolution we are in now? Karmika Viplava. You know what is it? Right? It is industry 4.0 now. The revolution is 4.0, right? The first revolution has happened way back in 18th, right? With this steam engine, right? Then we get electricity. That is second revolution. And third is computer and internet, right? We think we are in the computer and internet revolution. No, now we are in the digital revolution. This is the revolution we are in now. When it was started recently? No, it was started in 2011, right? As a country, we are behind. You have seen from the guest speaker slides also what has happened to us. We are behind. But if we go to the other side, we will be able to differentiate ourselves, right? So we are in the industry 4.0 revolution, convergence, IT, OT, autonomous machine, advanced robotic, big data, analytics, Internet of Things, digital ubiquity, cloud, smart factory, machine learning, and AI, cyber physical systems, so on and so forth. These things will be covered in this course, right? So I told you, you will be transformed. There's a transformation will happen inside you after you completing this course. That is the most important thing, right? Because when you learn these things, you'll be able to talk with your engineers, your IT people, your supply chain managers about these things. This is what I want to get it done in the marketing department. You need to support me, right? So they know that you know the language because you have gone through this transformation. Otherwise, you will lack. You will not be able to deal with those stakeholders, right? So in order to perform in the organization, definitely you should be able to go through this transformation, right? So that is one reason. So to give you a more understanding about this transformation, I will take an example, right? What is this Industry 4.0 is all about? Let's take Tesla, because you all know what is Tesla, right? It's a car without a human driver, right? Without you can self-driven car. So what is the transformation has gone this car, right? So there are 4 stages actually. The 4 stages. The first stages is what is happening, right? The car is checking all the data, collecting all the data around the car, and third-party data as well, the climate, everything, right? The direct data like color, light, people around the road, and trees and other vehicles. So and so the data, collect the data from sensors, and that is IoT, right? Okay, so collect the data, and then it process what is happening around me, right? This comes intelligence and understanding what is happening, right? So this Tesla car is doing this, right? And then what is the stage? Is prepare. Okay, then predict what will happen, whether this passenger, whether this pedestrian will cross the road, whether this the climate will change. That kind of prediction will be done, right? So that is predictive capability is inculcated inside the car, right? That is the preparation stage. And then is automation, autonomous action, right? So autonomous actions and machine self-optimized system, from wisdom to action or reaction, from forecast to proaction. Agility, flexibility, true innovation, transformation. This is the transformation that Tesla has gone through. That's how it is making make it free from a human being to have a driver inside the car. It's a self-driven car because it has gone through this transformation. Thus, this is what will happen to in your marketing department as well. Someone has to lead it, right? So that leadership should be taken by you. That's why you should learn these things. Otherwise, you will not be able to do this transformation inside the organization, right? Okay. So I think I have explained you the importance of learning about this digital transformation through the data-driven marketing professional courses. Further, the Industry 4.0 is driven by these forces like big data, data collection, transmission through sensors, real-time data, mobile computing, connected devices system, network society, software, cloud computing, and also integration with human and machine, so and so, right? These are the forces who have made this transformation possible, right? So we will discuss these things. We will, as Dr. Mentioned at the very first of the speech, at his speech, this is an exploratory subject. You should explore, you should learn first, you should know it, and then you should explore it, and you should apply it. That's how we're going to get the advantage from this program, right? So finally, in summary, so as you've seen throughout the speeches of today's opening day, we have we have discussed about this importance of data-driven marketing, right? It gives so much benefits. I have put a few things for you for you to summarize, like personalized marketing, cost efficiency, customer focus, innovation, many things. That is, you can make your organization competitive inside the industry. You can differentiate. Okay, but what about you? What are the things that you will get from DDM, data-driven marketing or data-driven mindset? First thing is you will be competitive in that inside your marketing fraternity, right? You will be differentiated in your marketing fraternity, right? You will not be a conventional marketer. You will not be a traditional marketer. You will be a differentiator because you know how to talk with engineers. You know how to talk with IT people. You know how to tell supply chain managers, this is what I want, get it done. You know how to approach the suppliers. You know how to negotiate with your suppliers, right? Because that the organization, the leaders of your organization will see you as a high performing employee, right? And through that, you will get your career advancement, right? That should happen. And also, there are so much global opportunities are being opened as of now, right? Not only Sri Lanka, in other part of the world, for data-driven marketing is one of the key things, as you see in the previous slides. It is trending upward. So you should be there. You should capture those opportunities because you should go where there's a demand, right? Then through that, you will get paid higher than the conventional markets. So this is the point that I want to make you, right? So whatever you do, ask the question, why? Is this important to me? If it is yes, do it, right? So I think I have helped you. I have showed you what we are going to cover. It's a panel of lecturers will do this program because there are so many expertise need to come together to deliver this kind of a program. So after completing this program, you will be transformed as a Industry 4.0 marketer. So with that, thank you very much. If you have any question, please ask now.
Thank you, Mr. Dharmendra. So yeah, we'll wait for a few minutes to see if we have any questions. I think we have a few questions in our chat box, and some of those questions Mr. Dilshan has already given answers, but I think we have another question. So Mr. Dilshan, if you are here now, you can take your time to answer this question. And of course, you can ask all the participants, they can ask if they have any doubts from Mr. Dharmendra Singh as well. He'll be happy to answer all your questions about this particular program. So we'll wait for a few minutes to see if there are any questions. Otherwise, we can proceed with the program.
There's a question to me now in the chat box, Ashada, so let me answer that.
Sure.
Someone has asked, okay, Renuka has asked what is OT and what is convergent OT. It's like this, OT is operation technology, IT is information technology. So if you go to a factory, for example, let's say let's say, for example, it's the Brandix, right? So there are so many automation happening inside the factory, but the IT department and the factory is not connected because most of these machines automated machines are not connected with your IT network because of the security and other reasons. You have kept it separate from your IT department, and IT department doesn't involve with that factory at all. Who are there to manage this autonomous system inside the factory? Engineers, no? Head of engineering or engineers work on it, because this, this PLC is a kind of a IoT gateway. You don't operate because it's a communication. It's not simple as internet communication. But today, this IT and OT convergence is happening. Because of that, whatever the devices inside the factory start to communicate with internet now through IP, right? Like normal internet, they can talk, right? I'm trying to explain you as simple as possible because there are a lot of technological jargons are being used for this particular transformation happening inside the factory. So now when these machines are communicating with the internet, what you can do? You can remotely change, you can remotely configure, remotely manage these machines from another part of the world, right? So we call it is digital twin, right? So with the digital twin, you will have same machines inside your computer. You don't need to go to the factory. So you are visualizing the machines and you change whatever the changes to the machines, and it gets changed physically in the physical factory. So that is the convergence happening with this IT and OT. Hope I have answered your question, Renuka. Is it clear, friend? Okay. Thank you.
And Oshada, please let me allow to explain a little bit what Mr. Dilshan also said. So some of you actually have commented regarding the downward trend in digital data-driven marketing, right? So it has actually to do a little bit with the macroeconomic fundamentals as well. So if you, in generally speaking, our digital industry is powered by mainly online purchases, right? Now, if you take as a country, our entire credit card base is around 120 billion, which is like I think we have about 1.2 million credit cards in the country. And the total amount of maximum credit limit of this is, I think it used to be around 120 billion or something like that. As of last year, almost out of that 120 billion, the usage was around 100 billion. So the available credit on the credit cards has increased drastically. Right, so there is people, we had a bad couple of years. So now in comparison to 2010, if most of you remember, the credit card usage was increasing. So it went from, I think, 200,000 to almost 1.2 or 1.4 billion credit cards in the last decades. So that was a drastical increase. But then things started slowing down after 2015. And also during that time, most of these, like we had so many e-commerce players and so many other players were in the market and they went bankrupt, right? And now with the things are recovering, there is again things are starting to move upwards. So if you check about the available credit from like banks are offering more credits. And then people are actually like if you talk about e-commerce and other businesses, they are also restructuring, re-strategizing and entering the market again, right? So there is a lot of things going on. And also at the same time, what happened was, so data-driven marketeers, like there was a lot of, like most of them honestly graduated to other greener pastures, right? There was a lot of people who are very expert, they had a lot of experience in the data-driven marketing field, and they were grabbed up almost from mainly from Canada, and then a lot of them transferred to Australia as well. So there is a big vacuum in the market as well, and and then of course there was the problem of credit also in the market. So I think now there is a great opportunity for you, like in like especially industry like this, it won't like stay down forever, right? Digital payments, e-commerce, data-driven marketing, those are all growing industries. So there are situational ups and downs based on the macroeconomic conditions, but overall it's an upward trend in all across the world. So I encourage you guys to, you know, a little bit search further into it. And then, but again, the whole point of you have to be on top of the game, right? It's not like a fixed thing where you learn something and you forget about it and you come back to the industry and you will be, you know, expert on it. Like that's not gonna happen. So you have to be constantly involved and improve your knowledge and skills about the matter. Oshada, back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Sajid. Right, so I hope that's a wrap in terms of questions, because I think almost all the questions that was asked from our experts were answered. And yeah, so we shall proceed with the program then, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, to present the program brief and to give you a basic understanding about this DDMP program, its content, and all the relevant information, I would like to invite Ms. Mudita Kandambi, Executive Slim Business School, to present the program brief. Yes, I think we have another question asking whether this is physical, online, or both. I think this question will be probably answered by Ms. Mudita Kandambi in her explanation.
Okay, so good morning all. Again, I warmly welcome you for the inauguration of DDMP 124 intake. So I'm Mudita Kandambi, the program coordinator of DDMP program. So here onwards, I would like to take you through some important details about the DDMP qualifications. So DDMP program is designed to provide the knowledge on essential data-driven marketing concepts, provide skills to evaluate and identify the best practice and the emerging concept of the in the data-driven marketing. So about the student registrations, let me talk about the students are requested to provide and scan copy of NICs and photographs and scan copies of your education qualifications and also service letters to complete the student registrations. So the students are requested to submit these documents to our LMS, and also noted that we will provide a detailed guideline on the due course. So you guys, all the lecture recordings and the notes are also uploaded to the LMS. So about the administration details and also the coaching sessions, so it will be blended method, so as both online and on-site sessions. So online sessions will be conducted through MS Teams, and also on-site sessions you will be at Slim Business School, and also you all will be informed regarding each session delivery mode along with the class schedule in the class commencements. And also, all the students are advised to follow these schedules accordingly, because further for attendance of the classes will be monitored. So hence all the students are requested to attend all the sessions regularly. And also classes will be commencing on Sunday, 2nd June 2024 from 9 a.m. onwards as an on-site session. So you guys need to come to the Slim Business School Kitulwatta for that. So this is the class schedule for DDMP 124 intake, and this will be shared with all the students before the classes commencement. So about the communications, the communication related to the our DDMP qualification will be done via most email, and also we will contact you over the phone and in SMS as well. So all the students are informed to provide a correct email addresses and a contact number at the registration point. Not only that, you are requested to check your inbox on regular basis as well. So, as students, for any inquiry regarding DDMP qualifications, you can contact me, Mudita, through email. My email is ddmp@slim.edu.lk, and also you can contact me via note 70-366-2177. And also about the for any concerns during your study period at SLIM, you may contact our SLIM Business School manager, Mr. Samir, and also Dr. Sajid Prematilaka, Head of Education, and the student counselor, Mr. Nagi Edrisingha. Their contact details and also the email addresses are mentioned in here, so you guys can note them down and contact them as well. So, if I explain briefly about the curriculum of the DDMP qualification, I think Mr. Damind also informed that. So it will cover 11 different modules in this program. And the first module is Introduction to Data-Driven Mindset and Fundamentals of Data and Analytics, Marketing Process and Data Collection, Artificial Intelligence for Business, and Consumer-Centric Marketing Activities, Business Intelligence and Data Visualization, agile marketing mix, and data-driven creative advertising, data-driven conversation optimization, IoT adaptation for business, and finally, introduction to blockchain technology. So let me talk about the assessment criteria. This qualification will be in 2 ways. You will have to do a group assignment, basically a case study, which covers 40% of your final mark. At the completion of all 11 modules, you will have to sit for the final examination, which is as an online MCQ test. So it will cover 60% of your final mark. So your group assignment will be shared to the LMS, and you will be assigned to a group to complete the assignment. So this assignment will be briefed in a separate session and will aware you on all the important facts regarding the case study. So deadline for the assignment submission will be on 15th of September 2024. And also about the final examination, it will be held on 29th September 2024. You guys need to come for our authorization centers for that. So about the grade description and the criteria, you will be awarded with the final grading according to the marks that you have obtained both in the assignment and in the final examination. So if you obtain 75 marks or above, you are awarded with a merit pass. And if you score between 64 to 74, a good pass, and 40 to 64 marks will be an ordinary pass. And also, Slim Library is also open now, so you may use the library facility for your study purposes. As shown here, the library is open for Monday to Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and also in the weekends from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. The library will be remain closed on Fridays, Fridays, and other special holidays as well. So that brings to the end of the program brief on the DMP qualifications. And also I wish you guys all the best in successfully completing the DDMP qualifications. So if you guys have any more concerns regarding this program, you can contact me from today onwards via given number. So over to you, Oshada. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mudita Kandambi, for providing all the necessary information. So as she correctly mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions with regard to this particular program, just go on and contact Ms. Mudita or any of the contacts that she has given to you, and you can clear all your doubts you have regarding this data-driven marketing professional program. Right, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to conclude today's session. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Dilshan Sinaratna, who graced this occasion as our guest speaker, Mr. Daminda Edrisinghe, one of our lecturers, Dr. Sajit Prematilaka, Head of Education, Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, and of course, Ms. Mudita Kandambi, Executive Slim Business School, all for joining this program on a Sunday and for sharing all that information and for sharing all your experience and knowledge with our participants today. And of course, we would like to see each and every one of you at our Slim Business School, our participants, and we hope to see each and every one of you as students at Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we would like to conclude today's session. So once again, thank you and have a good day.